One of my patrons just sent me this model right here, and he needed some help cleaning up this topology. So here are a couple of tricks that you can use to clean up your completely obliterated topology in Blender. This is especially important when you're modeling cars. If you're a beginner at Blender, which most of you are, then your topology probably also looks something like this. So don't laugh. I'm gonna show you a couple of things that you can fix here which are going to improve your model. First of all, we got this little spike sticking out of here. I don't know what happened, but here's how you can fix that to align it with the rest of the geometry. Go to Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, search for a loop, check this box called Loop Tools. Now we're going to select these two edges on this spike, also the edges next to it, then go Loop Tools, G-Stretch, set the method to project, and now they're going to be perfectly aligned. Do the same thing with this next edge segment. We can select that by selecting the first edge, then Control right click on the next edge on the other side, and again go Loop Tools, G-Stretch. If you can't access this Loop Tools shit with W, then press N in edit mode, find this edit menu, go to Loop Tools, and click on G-Stretch right here. You can also find the extra settings in this little menu when you click on this arrow. Now we corrected this shape here, but this edge loop over here doesn't seem to connect with anything, which gives us a big mess. So we're going to select this edge loop and see where it goes. And if we follow it all the way back here, it looks like it doesn't really do anything very important. It does create this little angle here, but for now this just gives us too much geometry and I don't want to connect this anywhere yet. So we're just going to press X, dissolve edges, and now we got rid of it. We can bring it back later if we want to create this again. We also got some more edge loops over here which we probably won't need for anything. We're going to dissolve this one over here with X again. We don't need to have this many edges over here because we have less edges over here at the top. So we're going to select this edge loop over here, and for some reason there's a double edge loop. So first we're going to slide that all the way to the next one with double G, and it looks like there's a couple of edge loops concentrated in one area here. So first we're going to select the edge loop, slide it over to the next one by pressing double G and moving the mouse. Once you moved it, we're going to select everything, press M, merge by distance. Now the vertices which are in the same place are going to be merged into one vertex. We got another double edge loop over here, so we're going to do the same thing again. Select this edge loop, double G to slide it inwards, select everything, press M, merge by distance. Now I want to get rid of this triangle, and to do that I'm going to use my brush select tool with C to select all this geometry which extends from this triangle. Then with double G I'm going to slide it down to here, again select everything, M, merge by distance, and it looks like we have an extra vertex over here which is not doing anything, so let's just delete that vertex. There's another extra vertex over here as well, we're gonna delete that too, and we got some more triangle trouble happening here. Again, we can just get rid of this entire edge loop, so let's just select everything here, slide it all the way out, M, merge by distance, and now the geometry here is a little bit simplified, so it's going to be a little bit easier to work with. We have a weird face right here. We're going to select this vertex and connect it to this one right here with J. Now we have two quads here and we don't have an n-gon anymore. We don't need to have bevels here on these edges because they're just making it harder for us to work right now. So we're going to select this edge loop here. We gotta deselect this last edge because it's a triangle and it's going to shift somewhere else. Now we can slide this to the end. Again, merge by distance. We don't need this either, so dissolve edges, slide this vertex to the end, merge by distance. We also have some more useless geometry down here which we're going to dissolve. Also get rid of these vertices. Also these on the inside here. There's a vertex sticking out here. We're gonna get rid of that. Then I'm gonna take this edge loop at the top here and also the edges which are connected to it down here. Slide that with double G, merge by distance. And now we have to somehow connect this geometry up here. But we don't have any geometry here, so we're going to add a loop cut with Control R, align it approximately with this vertex up here. Select this vertex at the end of this edge loop, Shift S, cursor to selected. Now we're going to select this vertex, Shift S, selection to cursor. Again, we don't need to have this much geometry over here at the end, so we're going to select this edge loop. Also select this edge on the inside here where this is supposed to connect. X, dissolve edges, and we don't need this one here either, so we're going to dissolve that as well. Select both of these edge loops here, X, dissolve edges. Now that's also a little bit simplified. We got way too many edge loops over here which are completely useless right now, and as you can see they connect over here to the front of the door where they're not doing anything, they're just creating an n-gon. So with Alt right click and Shift Alt right click, we're going to select all of these edge loops, X, dissolve edges. Also give me this, slide that to the end, merge by distance, and now we got rid of some of that useless geometry. We got more useless geometry up here on top, but it's very important that when you find some edge loops which are too concentrated like this right here and you think that we have to remove them, you have to check what's happening at both ends of these edge loops. Right now, if we just dissolve this edge loop, we're just going to get an n-gon at the end here because for some reason there's a hole back here. So we have to take these two edges, fill them with F, and there's also a hole back here. Not only is there a hole, but we also have some double vertices back here. So we're gonna take this one because it's not doing anything, delete vertices, fill this face here and also this one here. Now we can take this entire edge loop over here, X, dissolve edges, and also this this one in the front here. X dissolve edges. Probably we're gonna have a similar situation with this edge loop right here and this one back here. And as always, I was right. We gotta fill this gap back here and also this one back here. If we want to slide this edge loop somewhere, we have to create some more geometry to control the direction of where this is moving if we slide this. So I think it's going to be easier if we try to get rid of this top edge loop over here. As you can see, we can easily just slide that one somewhere or press X dissolve edges. Now we got rid of it, and then later we can get back to whatever's happening back here. Now let's move to a different area. We're in some serious shit on these doors right here. I don't know how this happened, but I'm not gonna ask questions. I'm just gonna fix it. Take this edge loop over here, X dissolve edges. Take the next one, X dissolve edges. Next one as well. Then we're gonna take this one over here and slide it all the way to the beginning. But if we do that, then we're going to fuck up the shape down here. So instead, I noticed that we have an extra vertex up here, which we can use to connect this. There's some more nonsense happening over here, so we have to dissolve this edge loop here. Also this one down here, because I don't know what that's doing. X dissolve edges. Get rid of this extra edge loop on the end over here. And then there's a little bit of a knot going on over here. We just have some extra vertices which we don't need, and we can delete them. Also over here, we have a very long and thin triangle. Slide this up and get rid of it. Get rid of this useless edge loop. Delete these edges. We got an n-gon which is twisted in a very weird way right here. I think we should just take this vertex and slide it up for now. Later we can talk about what to do with this next. Get rid of this vertex. And now this edge loop over here is necessary to control the shape and the curvature of this surface, but it doesn't connect to anything, so it doesn't do anything. We got some geometry in the front here which we could use to connect this, but it's also a complete mess, so we have to clean that up first. Over here we got a double edge loop. This one determines the corner, so we can take this one because it doesn't do anything. X dissolve edges. This edge loop also doesn't do anything, so get rid of it. Long triangle here, slide it and get rid of it. This edge doesn't do anything, dissolve edges. Now we're left with one edge over here which we can connect with this, and we just have to straighten this out to improve this shape. Select this face, Control Shift select this face, go to edge select mode, use Shift Alt right click to deselect these horizontal edges. We should be able to do this in one click, but we can't. That tells me that there's some geometry here which shouldn't be there, such as this vertex right here. We're gonna dissolve that. We got an edge loop down here which doesn't connect to anything, so give me a loop cut, join this with J. We can't do that because there's an extra vertex over here which I selected by accident. So take that lower edge loop, X dissolve edges. Now we can join this. Take the next lower edge loop because we also don't need that. Dissolve edges here. We also need to connect this to something. Loop cut here, join this and join this. I'm using Alt right click in face select mode to select this face loop, but still the selection doesn't continue over here because probably there's some fucked up geometry which we can't see. In vertex select mode everything looks fine, in edge select mode everything looks fine, but when you select this vertex you can see by the orange lines there's an extra little vertex over here. So let's zoom in on that. As you can see, this sticks out for some reason, so we can slide that to the end, merge vertices by distance, and now that's a little bit better. But when I select this in face select mode, I can see there are some dots here, which means there's a face right here which we don't need. Delete faces. There's also some more edges bunched up into this corner which we can just dissolve. Now we can select this face loop. Let's try this one down here. We still got some bullshit, so let's check it out. There's an n-gon right here, so this can't continue. I don't want to have a triangle here, so I'll slide this inwards and I'll slide this down, merge by distance. This can stay a triangle for now, but alternatively we can select this edge loop, tear it with V, use double G to slide it up a little bit, delete this face back here. Now fill this with a quad, and then we can use this extra gap here to create a new segment of faces. So select this edge loop, then select a lower edge loop, W bridge edge loops, and we can use this as a bevel later on to tighten up this corner right here. But we're probably not gonna do that. I just wanted to show you that. So slide this down, merge by distance, and we're just gonna work with this up here. Select this face loop, select this face loop. In edge select mode, deselect this, and deselect this down here. Deselect these edges and also these on the sides right here. Now go to W, loop tools, space. That didn't really work. Instead, we're gonna select this edge loop. Loop tools, G stretch. Now they're a straight line. We can slide that down a little bit. Or we can take this vertex and pull it down here. Take this one and pull it down a little bit as well. Select these two vertices which we just pulled. Go to loop tools, curve. Set the interpolation to linear. Slide this a little bit to fix it. Now this looks a little bit better. We still have to add a loop cut here for connecting this. And it looks like everything is moved in that direction. And it's kind of cramped up on this area. So we're going to select this edge loop here. Loop tools, space. Then select the next one. Loop tools, space. Let's also do the next one. Loop tools, space. This looks like somebody like Aryan kicked this fucking door in. So we're gonna take this edge loop and this one up here as well. Loop tools, relax. Set the number of iterations to 5. That doesn't really do much. So we're also going to go to loop tools, G stretch. Use spread. And now slide the influence slider down to 0. And slowly start increasing it. This is going to kind of fix this shape. But we don't want to do it too much because then we're gonna mess up the entire design of the car. I just want it to look like it hasn't been beat up. We're also gonna relax this edge loop down here. here. Give me this one and get rid of it. We don't need all of these vertices here either, so dissolve vertices. Or maybe we do need them, but we have to balance out the space between them. So select this edge loop, loop tools space. Now join it with these other vertices in the front here using J. We don't need this one, so we're gonna dissolve that. Again, give me loop tools space. Get rid of this edge at the bottom, slide this at the front, join this, get rid of these vertices over here, bring this inwards a little bit, give me a loop cut here, join this, lift this up just a little bit so we get a better curve here on the inside of this wheel. Dissolve this edge, slide this one here. We gotta do something about the distribution of these edges, but before we do that, we gotta get rid of these extra vertices up here at the top. So dissolve this, slide this, bring this over here. Now select these two edge loops over here, also these on the inside. Loop tools space, loop tools relax, slide this to the end, then loop tools space on this again. Select this on the roof, slide it to the end, merge by distance. Loop cut right here, join this. We can't have this inverted quad right here, so we're just going to add an extra loop cut over here and join this. Maybe even slide this here. I don't know what happened here, but we can slide this to the end. Join this over here as well. Loop cut right here, join this with J. This vertex doesn't have to be here, so we're gonna slide it into the corner. We can also take this and this vertex and slide that up for now. Select this part over here, loop tool space. At the back of the roof, we also got some trouble. Slide this vertex over here and this one into the corner. Loop cut this, slide it backwards and join it right here, so we got quads. Slide this into the end. I'm guessing that you use the boolean modifier to create this shape right here, which means the shape of this hole is probably okay, but we need to connect it to some geometry up here. One way that you can do that is to add 3 loop cuts to the top. Join this, join this, join this. Give me another loop cut over here to join this. Another one for this part. And then this I want to send in that direction. So give me a loop cut here, join this and join this. Another loop cut up here and connect this. We're gonna have to make this geometry here a little bit smoother. So select this entire surface, deselect these vertical edge loops that I'm looking at right now. Now go loop tools, relax, and loop tools space. Also give me loop tools space and loop tools relax down here. We should probably do the same for this rim down here. And then we also got to get rid of these vertices. So select the top of this hole, loop tools space, loop tools relax. Now we got some twisting in the back, so instead of connecting these up here, we got it connecting to the back. Dissolve this, loop cut here, join this, loop cut right here. Select this part and slide it down. Slide this down a little bit as well. Maybe we can connect this like this and then add another loop cut. Deselect this part, slide down, join this, dissolve this. Let's try a loop cut here, slide this down, which means we can push this over here to the end to get rid of the triangle. But that's probably not a good idea. Let's try dissolving this instead and sliding this down. Maybe we can slide this backwards and start bringing this geometry from the front over here to the back. That gives us a bit of a better alignment here. I'm thinking that it would probably be a good idea to try to get rid of some of these triangles, but maybe that's not even the case because I don't think this is going to be a problem. If we select this edge loop and we bevel it inwards to add some thickness here later, you're probably going to take this and you're probably going to bevel this section right here. And when you bevel that, that's going to protect this geometry on the inside, and you shouldn't be able to see any artifacts here even if you use a subdivision surface modifier. Now of course we're still gonna get rid of this n-gon and everything. We're gonna do some more cleanup. Maybe we can merge these into one, but I don't think we have to do that. I think this is going to be okay. Let's ask Thomas Colin to answer this question because he's the real topology pro. If you haven't subscribed to him, then go subscribe to him right now, and let's see in the comment section what he's going to say about these triangles right here. Maybe if you guys convince him, he's gonna explain this shit over on his Discord, so go check that out if you want to learn something new about topology. I don't really like how this looks if we slide it down. Maybe we can slide this up, dissolve this. Now we can slide this to this corner over here. I want to add another loop cut over here, and I want to connect this like this. Now we can slide this up as well. Maybe add another loop cut over here just to keep a little bit of consistency, but that's going to be a little bit too much geometry for this. Never mind, Thomas Colin, I think we figured out a different way, although I still think the triangles wouldn't be a problem. This just works a little bit better because we can add a loop cut which is going to follow this path around the wheel, except we still got some n-gons down here, so get rid of this. Now we can do a loop cut over here, but not in the front. So we're gonna try to connect this in a way where this face loop is going to fall down here, and to do that we should probably slide this edge loop to the end, then take this edge and lift it up. I have no earthly idea how this happened down here. It looks like only a part of this edge was beveled. Get rid of that. Slide this to the end, slide this inwards. Now we got a healthy looking shape right here. I will end up adding a loop cut right here just to keep everything cleaner. Select this edge loop, loop tool space. You can see now how much cleaner that looks. We can also move this a little bit closer or lower this down a little bit. We're gonna need some more geometry over here to connect it to whatever's happening down here. But once again, we got way too many vertices down here and I don't know what they're doing. It looks like the creator of this car was planning to fill in this shape with something, but we're not going to dive into that today. Let's quickly join this up here. Join this. Take a look at the front right here. And if you pay attention, you're going to notice that it's going to be very easy to fix this, the same way that we kind of fixed everything else in the back here. Of course, there's still some more work to do with evening out this geometry, relaxing the edge loops. We don't want to make them look jagged. We got to do all this different shit with our loop tools. But the good thing is that the shape is all right. So we just have to connect these vertices differently and fill in some of the gaps and get rid of some of the extra vertices or edges, and we're going to be fine. fine. Remember some of the techniques that I showed you, and remember how I rearranged some of the geometry so it flows better. And try to continue doing that on this model. If you guys want to see me continue cleaning up this fucking abomination of a vehicle, then let me know in the comments and we can make another video where we do the front. But make sure to join my Discord where you can talk to 3,300 people about Blender every single day at any time of the day. I'm going to give you guys some crazy announcements in this channel soon. But if you don't want to participate, then at least like the damn video. And if you want to learn more about Blender, then subscribe to the fucking channel. I post videos every single day non-stop. So stay tuned and you're gonna become a pro in no time. Let me know what you want to see next, and I'll see you in the next one.